We will eliminate corruption. We will drive away madness called kidnapping.
Politics is local. Any politician worth their salt will tell you that power resides in the grassroots. But what does this mean for a country with over 93 million registered voters, yet less than 30% of that number actually show up for elections? Well, here's what the numbers say. In the 2023 election, President Bola Tinubu clinched the seat with a grand total of over 8.7 million votes. Second was the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, who flew the People's Democratic Party, PDP flag at the time with over 6.9 million votes. And of course, third was Peter Obi with the Labour Party with over 6.1 million votes. The numbers involved here are a far cry from the numbers generated at the primaries held recently. APC argues that, according to their numbers, 10,980,000 people turned out to vote in their primaries. That's 44% of the total voter turnout for the whole of last year's election for one partisan primary process. We break this down further. In 2023, Tinubu got 1/3 of his votes from the Northwest. That's the largest voting geopolitical grouping in the country. And that was more than he attained from his Southwest home zone. Well, there's also the issue of crossing the requisite 25% in 2/3 of the nation states. Then the issue of whether or not this includes the FCT has been settled. Or has it? Well, candidates are still going to have to work towards volume and spread. What actually matters most? Is it manifesto, ethnicity, or religion? Farouk Pierogi argues that apart from geopolitical zones, that Nigeria has an emotional map. And that given this map, if the incumbent, Tinubu, were to choose a Christian running mate, as many are advocating for, it would equate to a Christian ticket in the eyes of the core North. Well, all this is debatable. Other people argue that the Northern Christian vote has been strengthened in favor of a potential Christian president by the deepening insecurity and allegations of Christian genocide. But does any of this even matter if the process from casting a vote to the announcement of results is mired with distrust? Well, we're going to have a conversation today with somebody who is right in the thick of things, front and center of mobilization for Peter Obi's Obidient Movement in the 2023 election. And we're going to find out why this time around they're saying rig or die. I'm Vimbai Mutiniri Ekpeyong. This is Unpacked with Vimbai. The road to Aso Villa 2027 begins right here. The Morris Monye, I see your tweets before I followed you.
Yeah.
Your tweets would just always show up on my timeline, and it's obedience, these obedience, hot takes. Sometimes getting into it with other people. I'm very, very curious as to how you became politicized.
Okay, it started 2022 when my brother Morris Monye was running for president of Nigeria under ADC at that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
How ADC has changed since
yes,
then, right?
Yes. So it's morphed into different elements now. So at that time, I said, okay, I'll volunteer my time to making him president, or at least him getting the nomination tickets for ADC. So I joined the process, followed him about, spoke about his CV, his character, his qualities, and all that. So along the line, he didn't make the nomination for ADC. So I looked around, who's the next best candidate? It was Peter Obi, and the rest is history, really. So I used my voice, my platform to speak about Obi, and the Obidient Movement formed, not by me. It formed on its own, naturally, and we tried to organize ourselves, and the rest is history.
Is that other group who was saying they formed the Obidient?
I have no idea who they are. Everybody is free to talk. There are clowns everywhere, so they are free to do whatever they want to do. But I have no idea who they are. The Obidient Movement formed organically. Nobody's in charge of the Obidient Movement at that time until he appointed Dr. Tanko as the national coordinator, in fact, global coordinator, and it's all organic. Nobody formed it, really.
Okay, so just to put this to rest, who even came up with the term obedience?
So it was on Twitter. Some random person just said obedience, and it just caught on. It was very, very random, very, very, very random on Twitter.
Okay.
And we just took it Obidient and
you ran with it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was incredible to hear somebody say, no, it was Obidient with an E, and then
no,
we
no,
changed
no,
it to
no,
an
no, no,
I.
no.
But
It was on Twitter. Totally random on Twitter.
And then it went from that to, you say the rest is history, but I mean, with the rest of us normal people, life doesn't work that way, right? You don't come online and start supporting somebody and then suddenly you become one of the key people who's helping to mobilize for that person. So how did you get to meet him and decide that this is the role that you're best specialized for?
Okay, so at the time, I was just telling people how to meet. Like people like, okay, if you're in Shomolu, meet in this location for meetings. If you're in Surrey, meetings locations. So we started forming groups like cells.
Just out of passion.
Just out of passion,
Online.
you know. So I do business in Nigeria, and I'm so tired of the system. I'm so tired, you know. I want to run for president, but I'm trying to run through Peter Obi because he's the person with the resources to do that. So out of that passion, out of that zeal, out of that anger, you know, and most young people in Nigeria, we have that anger. You know, the system doesn't work. Nigeria is taking the best of our lives. And we just said, okay, you know what, let's organize ourselves and, you know, form cells of the Obidient Movement. And that's how it began. So how my role came as director of mobilization, that was after the election. The whole go to court, you know, the DDM streets, as we say in our local lingo. And we said, okay, you know what, let's build afresh. Let's start afresh and build. People were tired. People were angry that they felt cheated. And we said, okay, let's build a new structure afresh. So I got approached one day by Dr. Tanko. You know, before then, we were talking on the phone. We've never really met like that, you know. So people somewhere nominated me to be director of mobilization. And we got together and we formed different directorates. And they felt I would function best in that role. And that's how it came about, really. You know, so I think PO signed off on that, and that was it, really.
Because there was also this rumor that Obedience Online were IPOB apologists.
No. It
was all the same community.
No, it's propaganda, you know. So APC is propaganda. It's all propaganda by APC, you know. Oh, IPOB morphed into Obedience. It's all.
Is it from inside?
No. It's all propaganda. It's just to give it a bad name to kill the movement. It's all propaganda from APC.
It's crazy. It's really crazy what we see playing out online now. But this is one of the other fundamentals, right, of the Obidient Movement, is that people said, these social media people. And what sparked my interest in you is that you're somebody who figured out, it's almost like cracking a code, right? How do you take something from online to real life? How did you take this movement from a social media phenomenon?
So what I did, we have 774 LGs in Nigeria, 774 LGs, and every Nigerian lives in a local government. So you have to do the mobilization and the groupings, LG by LG. You know, you live in Etiosa LG, he lives in Jalingo, she lives in Potiskun. Everybody lives somewhere. So what I did, I had a group of volunteers form LG WhatsApp groups where everybody, if you stay in this LG, go and, you know, stay in your LG with your colleagues and your friends, you know, who are obedient. So that's how we started that mobilization. So it became cells. I didn't know at that time it would become that big. I did not know. But, you know, just small, it became cells, it became powerful. And, you know, we started having people, you know, who are leading the cells on their own. I didn't have to be there. They just said, okay, you know what, we are XYZ amount of people, let's form our own cell. And it became massive. And if I look back, I'm like, was I on crack? What was I thinking of? You know, it's something else, really. Something else.
The crazy thing is, what went wrong, Morris? Because...
So, for me, for the election itself, for me, it's no structure. When I say structure, wait. So if I say structure, you have this idea that structure is something negative and bad. It's not. So obedience have spread. We don't have depth. Spread means we're all over the country. You go to Kano, there's obedience. You go to Potiskum, there's Obidient. But when I say depth, there's nobody taking charge in those areas. Nobody's taking charge. In Potiskum, who's taking charge? So the idea we're trying to do at that time was to have people in charge in Calabar, Potiskum, all these places. So people had to take charge in those areas for it to work really. And there was not enough time to appoint people in those areas for it to work, So on election day, we may score 100 votes. There's nobody in charge to protect those votes. And it's why I like NDC now. NDC is a party with, you spoke to Uche just a few minutes ago, He's a kind of person who can protect the votes in Delta North. He has that kind of capacity, that kind of power, because he's a grounded politician. So we didn't have depth, it's just disgruntled Nigerians who want a change in the country, who say they will vote, but nobody's protecting those votes. Nobody's pulling those votes to collection centers. So that was the issue at that time. But we've tried to, suit out those issues and try to make it better now. So yeah, we have spread, but no depth.
We're coming from spread, but no depth.
Yeah, at that time.
At that time.
Yeah.
So is that why you felt you didn't need to have polling agents? What happened with the polling agents?
No. So for polling unit agents, at that time, we didn't get them to, because you have to be LP polling unit agents. There's nothing like Obidient polling unit agents. So we didn't have enough polling unit agents because most were not registered LP members at that time. And the few ones that we had were not really paid at that time, because after election, we had so many complaints about them not being paid.
Because one moment they're saying Peter Obi doesn't give shishi, then the next moment again, it all happened on social media. They're saying that the money was mismanaged.
No, so
they haven't accounted for this.
No. So I can't speak on that.
Okay,
I didn't manage that. I didn't speak on that. So, but it's a party issue. It's a Labour Party issue. It's not an Obidient issue. Every polling unit agent is being responsible. Is being catered by the party, not Obidient. Okay. So it's a party issue. Yes, some people were being called out for mismanaging funds. I don't know about that. I was not involved, and I can't speak on that because I was not in that whole process. But as I said, we had spread but no depth because LP at that time were not rooted in some places in Nigeria, which is what happened at that time due to polling unit agents. So that's it really.
So how will 2027 be different from 2023? You still have Obedience, this time is with NDC. Yeah. Obviously, like you said, there's some structural changes that are being made or have been made.
Yes.
But it still seems like there's Obedience in the political party. Will it ever become one thing?
So the difference between now and 2023 is then it was all Peter Obi. So people came to contest in LP using his influence, that Obi wave, to get into office. This time around, we have more competent politicians, more competent people who are running their own election. That's down ballot people. So we have House of Assembly, we have House of Reps, we have even governorship. People who are actually competent, not just people that are just filling the gaps, people that are actually competent. And I'll use my state as an example. We saw big defections from APC, like Omagege, Victor Oche, all those guys, these are seasoned politicians. Yeah, my state. I'm using them as an example. These are seasoned politicians who, if you rig two, they will counter you back. They'll counter you back. No, it's true. They'll counter you back because they know the game.
The game we're playing this time.
No. What I'm saying is, if you have been in that game for a long time, you know all their tricks. Yeah, so that's the difference between LP then and NDC now. NDC is more structured. We have more seasoned politicians on ground. I may not agree with most of their ways in the past, but it is what it is.
What are their ways?
please, goodbye. Please. Me, anything APC, I don't agree, But the fact is, we have more seasoned down ballot candidates who can protect those votes. It's not Obi that will come and protect votes in polling units. It's not you and I that will protect votes. If I'm going for House of Assembly or House of Reps or Senate, I'll have my own polling unit agents who have paid, who have mobilized to protect those votes. So, you saw how long it took for primary results to come out because they're trying to see those that can protect votes the best way that it can be done. So that's why, I NDC is different from LP. Is twice as strong, twice as better, twice as capable as LP. So and you see what will happen in general election.
But have they embraced obedience?
Oh yes. There's been a marriage between NDC, the old politicians, obedience. There's been a marriage, between all parties because the interest is Peter Obi, and also their own elections. So there's been a marriage, a good synergy.
You said something interesting, which is that this time around, you're not depending on the Peter Obi wave. Do you think there's going to be a Peter Obi wave?
Of course. No. It's even stronger. My point, the point I'm trying to make is this: the wave is there, plus these experienced politicians, when they merge together, in fact, we send Tinubu packing out of Osrock. So that's why the Obi wave exists. Stronger politicians will send Tinubu packing out. The last time in LP, it was only the Obi wave. There was no strong structure on ground to protect votes. But we have the massive Obi wave coming. We have this people structure, these down ballot structures of experienced politicians. We make them together, grassroots mobilization. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So for we who are mobilizers, we don't need to do too much work, really. People love Obi. People will come out and vote. It's a standard. When you vote, what happens after the vote? That's just the issue. So they'll vote, the experienced down balloters will protect those votes. And that's what's going to happen,
So is that how the primaries played out in NDC? Because, we saw so many things, whether it be APC, ADC, NDC. Unfortunately, this time around, when we speak on primaries, we can't separate this group from that group. All of Funai won.
Yes.
Because what we saw during primaries was something else. Somebody said they turned option A4 into option A fraud.
So, with all parties, there'll be mistakes. And NDC is a new party. It's less than 3 months. And there'll be teething issues, teething problems. I mean, it's a new party. There'll be mistakes. But it's to learn from those mistakes, and see how we can forge ahead.
At what point does, politics then merge with the people? Because what I'm hearing from you is that it seems you've gone from a very populist, people-centric strategy and have sort of realized the hard way that it can't work in Nigeria. So we need to beat them at their own game. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from you.
So I am an apostle of wig and die. I'm sure you've heard of wig and die, right? So I'm an apostle of that. You don't take roses to a gunfight. Where we are going to now, there's a gunfight coming. So we need all these men, all these people who are experienced in politics to protect our votes. Yes, people love PO. People love PO. They will come out. If you have election 10 times in a year, people will come out to vote for PO. So the people will do their own part. The experienced men in NDC will do their own part. So there will be a marriage between both parts. And I think that's the secret ingredients that we missed the last time. We missed that the last time. And people came out, he had 6 million votes, which Annex said he got. But some didn't flow the votes to collection center. Votes got lost.
How many votes do you think got lost?
Oh, millions of votes got lost. Millions got lost. For Lagos, for example, they cooked the number, but it couldn't be cooked than that. No, it's true.
Because the APC are saying that Bola Tinubu got 10.9 million votes in the party primaries alone. So they said if only APC members vote in 2027, they'll be okay. See what I did there? They'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll be okay. Yeah, they'll be okay.
But
Nigeria will be okay.
You see what I did, right?
Yeah.
They'll be okay. But if you look at places like Kano, for example, which we know that thanks to the Kwankwasia movement, that's a stronghold of Kwankwaso.
Yeah.
But the sitting governors, people are saying that Kwankwaso deputizing to Peter Obi is a deal breaker. In fact, they went as far as saying that Peter Obi is a strange name in the north. You're on the grassroots, you move around the country.
So it's work in progress. The governor will say whatever he wants to say. I'll also dispute that 10 million votes from APC in the primaries. You can write whatever you want to write. You can write even 20 million votes. I mean, that's whatever you want to write. It's work in progress. You can't take away the power of Kwankwaso in the north. You cannot take that away. You can't wish it away.
Even if he's a deputy.
You can't wish it away. So there's Obedience, there's Kwankwaso movements. They are like twins. You can't wish those support away. So for me, the governor will say what he has to say. I mean, he's a politician. He must say what he wants to say. In the election last time, Okowa was VP to Atiku, and he said they'll finish Delta State. This one now. I speak because I'm from Delta State, so I can tell you. Election day came, he could not win Delta State. So that's how it is. You know, people will say what they want to say, but the facts on ground is the Kwankwaso movement in Kano is getting stronger and stronger. And it's still work in progress. We have about 8 or 9 months to election. Last time, in 2022, we did this whole Obidient Movement in just 8 months. 8 months. So, for me, they will say what they want to say. But the truth is, on the ground, there's work in progress. And won't stop. Can't stop.
South has defected.
Yes.
They've carried the structures with them. Some would argue and say, although the structures were never obedient structures anyway, were never structures. What does that look like? Because, you know, this is a place that we ordinarily knew was an opposition stronghold. And they're saying that in this past 3 years, that Tinubu has been in power. He's been able to flip those things.
So, remember, when PO ran in 2022, we didn't have even a single councillor. Even a single councillor. But you saw what happened. So it's not the governors that will do the voting. You see, we need to understand that we are a people-centric movement. We've moved into NDC, and we are here to win election. In 2022, we didn't have even one councillor anywhere in the country. And we got a governor, we got senators, we got LP, House of Rep members. Although they left after, but the point is, we don't need any governor to win election in this country. We've done it before, we'll do it again. So Tinubu having all 36 governors, it doesn't change anything really. As I said, we've done it before, we'll do it much again.
But what happens to the strategy where you're saying it's about protecting the votes?
Yes.
You know,
yes.
At the actual ballot.
Yes.
From polling station to collation
yes.
center.
Yes.
And they say the governors have the monopoly on power, on this process.
So I'll give example again. I'm from Delta State. The sitting governor, Okowa, was VP candidate to Atiku. A sitting governor, he could not protect his own election. He could not protect it. Peter Obi won him in Delta State. So we've done it before, we'll do it again. And Okowa is not a small fish, he's a big fish, he's a very, very big boy in politics. He's very, very skilled in the game of politics. But he could not protect his own state as a sitting governor. This is not him out of he was a sitting governor, he lost Delta State. So what more a river state where there's Fubara, they say is weak, I don't know. But what more a Fubara or an Edo State governor who they say, D7, all those things. What more?
But, they're saying that this time around, let me not even say they, I believe that there's no way an incumbent, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will allow a replay of what happened in 2023 because we all have the numbers.
Yes,
we
yes.
all have the permutations.
Yeah.
Just as hard as your NDC is working, ADC is working,
yeah.
APC is also working
yes.
to tighten up those screws.
Yeah.
So it seems that like an impossible feat this time around.
So they are also very panicked. They are panicked. I won't give a permutation zone by zone. I mean, I can say, oh, Southeast is this, Southwest is this. I won't do that. But they are also very panicked. It's very, very difficult to beat an incumbent. They'll say, good luck is not Tinubu. They're two different human beings, But I can tell you, they are very, very panicked. They've done the city boy movement, which has failed. I mean, no, you don't hear about that anymore. Gone. It's all gone. You saw what happened in Oyo State. The people are, they're under siege there. So that whole buzz of city boy is all gone. So they are also very panicked. They are very, very worried about what is going to come. So yes, as I said, Tinubu is not soft, as they say, like a good luck. But when the people say enough, enough is enough, and it will happen. If INEC, or when INEC declares Obi as the winner, I'm telling you, I will lead the march to Aso Rock to get him out of there. I'm telling you.
When? You said when.
When, not if, when.
What are you doing to make sure that this election doesn't end up being determined by the courts?
So, as I said, I'm an apostle of rig and die. Because rig and die is a concept where we expect everybody to behave themselves in the polling units. Everybody, please behave yourself. We want peace.
Is that a realistic expectation?
Wait now.
Okay.
We want peace. We don't want violence. But if you bring violence, we'll give you violence. So.
We don't want them to say we're inciting.
No. Okay. But we beg everybody to have peace, please. Just come, cast your vote, you go. We don't want violence. We don't want any issues. But if you bring it, we will not just be looking at you. We will not. So the issue of court, all election in Nigeria on that day will be decided in the polling unit. We will structure it out. Every zone, every senatorial district, every LG will have people, capable people who can defend votes in each zone. So it will be determined there. Nothing like court in 2027. There'll be no court because we don't have faith in the judiciary. We don't have faith in that sector anymore. So all election will be decided on the polling units on that day. And we are working on that to ensure that it's done on that day,
You're going to make sure you have the evidence that was missing in 2020.
When you say evidence, is it evidence for court or what?
For court,
No.
yes,
Nothing. Well, if you want to go to court, but me, I've told them, please, we're not doing court. There's nothing like court because court, it's like, oh, you stole my bread. Let me go and report you to the person that's my friend. It won't go in your favor. There's nothing like court, So, and that's the feeling, I can tell you, that's the feeling we have amongst us. We win that election on that day. If you don't want it to be peaceful, we'll fight you back.
And I mean, it's all fair and fine to do this, but like you said earlier, INEC, we all know, is the authority.
Yes.
It has the constitutional authority
Yeah.
to announce
Results, yeah.
So no matter what you have, it's what INEC has and declares that becomes official.
Yeah.
How are we tackling an INEC who we haven't really been able to determine whether the chairman,
Abu Pata.
was made some partisan tweets in the past. In this past few days, we've seen somebody who speaks strongly, works for the government, in fact, an aide to the FCT minister also. I
saw that. It's very disgraceful, very disgraceful, very disgraceful.
And have said that it was done from one of their own passwords. It was something that was given out. It wasn't a hack, meaning that somebody within INEC
it's very disgraceful.
Compromised.
It's very disgraceful.
That
it's very
access
disgraceful.
to that portal. So how do you tackle such a
So for INEC, we need to take it LG by LG, and follow up all the way to the collection center at the center. I have no faith.
Repeating this. So you really feel that where it went wrong was between polling units?
Yes. So it's also inexperience. Most of us went to vote. Some stayed behind. Some went home. Those that stayed behind, we won our polling units, hey, and they went home. Most didn't follow it to the LG collection center, state collection center, etc. So for election, you win at the polling unit, they transmit the results. It's not yet uhuru. From there, you go to the ward. From there, you go to the LG. From there, you go to the states. That's how we've now become in Nigeria. You have to follow it bumper by bumper, So for the presidential, it's the same process. But we have to follow it all the way to the national to ensure that the right thing is done. I have no faith in INEC. I have no faith in the INEC chairman. I have no faith in him whatsoever. But we'll make it very, very difficult, for him to do anything funny. I won't say what we'll do, but it will be very, very difficult. I may not trust you with my meat, but I'll watch you all the way to the kitchen as you're trying to cook that meat. That's how we'll do for INEC chairman. We'll watch you all the way. So that's it, you know.
You know, people have spoken out against the Electoral Act and,
Yeah.
you know, concerns. Do you think that the unintended consequences of this is that people might not even come out to vote because they're worried that the Electoral Act is going to disenfranchise?
I will need to encourage Nigerians to come out. You know, yes, it was done to disenfranchise Nigerians, but I will encourage Nigerians to vote. You know, it's done, but please, you cannot just give up and say, oh, you know what? No, please come out and vote. Please, I'm begging Nigerians, they need to come out and vote. Yes, it's done to make people get turned off, but people need to come out and vote. Please, it's very important.
And as we round up, I have a lot of friends who were obedient in 2023.
Were obedient?
In the past tense, yes.
Wow.
I have a number of friends who even contributed money to the campaign.
Everyone did.
Who, yes, of course.
Everyone did.
Who this time around say that they don't do again.
Why?
That the Obidient Movement let them down. That online, the guys are too aggressive, they misbehave, it's become a mob.
So-
Peter Obi himself, they feel that, is he really living up to the expectation that we had? You know, because remember that time there was novelty, but now we've had a few years to follow him, and some people are feeling disillusioned.
So Obidient Movement is a family. We are one big family. I myself, I get dragged by Obidient Movement. Peter Obi
resigned.
Yeah. No, I resigned because my business was under. It's a long story, but I had to leave at that time to focus on my business, and they dragged me. I was dragged. I was, you know, abused, insulted.
By your own Obidient family.
By my own family, you know. So I didn't take it any way, you know. I even apologized to the whole. Yeah. I had to apologize, you know. Okay, don't be angry or make an vex. You know, I saw Pio after that apology, and he just laughed like, he laughed. You know, so we are one family. So I want to appeal to everybody that's left Obidient Movement because of insults we are one family. You know, siblings will fight themselves, will quarrel, but the aim is we're looking at a Peter Obi presidency so that this country can change. You know, if I go angry, I say, you know what, I'm not doing, I travel abroad and, you know.
But it seems toxic.
No, so as I said, siblings fight.
Does it need to be toxic?
Siblings fight. And everybody has their own character. There's the gentle obedience, there's the agbero obedience, there's fire for fire obedience. There are different types of obedience. You can't categorize everybody as one obedience. You know, so there are different cells, different characters. You know, those I can talk to, I talk to them that please, we are one family. We can quarrel, we can fight, but we just try and keep it, you know, very civil and all that, you know. But we're one family. We cannot say we won't support Obi anymore because of we are fighting ourselves. No. We remain one family. So please appeal to your friends, appeal to them. We need them to come back.
I'm apolitical. I'm just here to watch.
Yes. Well, please appeal.
Give me popcorn. I'm just here putting it
Well, please appeal to your friends, please. They need to come. Because we need them at this time. We need everybody, you know. I have my own issues with everybody too, but the future ahead is more than our petty differences. There's a lot of things we have to do ahead of time, you know. And the Obidient family, we are one. There's no two obedience. There's Obedin. No. It's one family. It's one family, you know. And I tell Pio, sir, you know me very well. I may say this, that, but you know it's from a place of love, and you know I respect you so much. I model myself after him. I don't wear jewelries. I don't do all those flashy, exuberant things. I can travel anywhere I want to in the world. Any country I go to, I can enter because I have my money to enter, you know. But I've lived a very, very calm, gentle life because I see myself after him. You know, that's the kind of person I see myself like in the next 30, 40 years, you know. So that's who I want to follow. That's who I want to follow. There's nobody else I can follow. I can't follow Tinubu or Atiku or any. That's who I want to follow. You know, so please, I'll appeal to your friends to come back. We have a country to save.
We have a country to save.
Yes, we have a country to save.
What about your new national leader? New because you've all moved from one place.
Okay, Seriake Dixon.
Senator Seriake Dixon. How's the chemistry coming together?
Me or him or?
No, just with his. Every leader has their own leadership culture, right?
Yeah.
Some people are saying he's holding NDC strong.
So my own stance is this. However he wants to hold it is fine by me. If he wants to do anything from his parlor, it's fine, So that tomorrow they will say, oh, there's a new NDC faction. This one, you should hold it in his parlor as far as the party is safe. Because if we have a new national office, we start hearing there's faction. That's on a lighter note. But I like his style. Is somebody who listens. It's a brand new party, so he wants to hear everybody's concerns, complaints, what's happening, how can I improve the party. That's how he is. From my small interaction with him. I joined NDC 2 months ago, and the party was very brand new, and he tasked myself and Kempela at that time to see how we can work on the party in Delta State, to see how we can put cells, put structures on ground, At the time, he said we should it should be by communities, because it's easier to micromanage if they are communities. And that's what we've been doing since that time. Although now it's getting bigger. We have big fishes like Oche, Omagege, and the rest of them who have come to NDC. So it's getting bigger and bigger, really.
What's your membership number?
I can't remember.
You don't know?
I can't remember. Okay. I can't remember. I really can't remember.
People are throwing these numbers around.
No.
Let me know the numbers for NDC.
I
do you think that Peter Obi should have gone to primaries? Because everybody else seems to have a sample of numbers.
So everybody has a style of
I think Mr. Wike says Peter Obi's style is food is ready.
And no, that's fine.
So in a nutshell, as we round up, there's no escaping godfatherism, is there?
It's a very tricky question, because I vowed I will not work for any godfather. But I won't say a godfather, I will say a guide to show us how to do the process, because you need politicians who are experienced to, if they bring rigging, that experienced guide can block the rigging. He knows what they are doing. He can block it. So I know where you're going, but I won't say it's a godfather. It's a guide to show us how to run elections in Delta State.
Okay, Morris Monye, this has been an incredible conversation. I would say that NDC enemy number one in the 2027 elections is not any of the other candidates, but it's rigging.
It's rigging.
It's rigging. So it's NDC versus rigging.
Yeah, if you put an ideal society, no INEC, just come and vote. We're beating APC 10/10, 10 times, 10 days, 10 hours, whatever, we'll beat them 10/10. But we're fighting the system, we're fighting rigging. Rigging is our issue. We have to fight rigging. So that's, for me, is the issue. We can beat APC 10/10, but it's rigging that is the problem. Bola Tinubu is a very unpopular candidate. It's very, very unpopular. Nigerians, go on the street and hear what they're saying about Bola Tinubu. It's very, very unpopular. And they're looking up to us in the NDC to be the alternative. It's all about service to the people. We're here to give service to the people and to ensure we have a new face in the country.
All right, a new lease on life for the Obidient Movement through the NDC, and they've said enemy number one for the 2027 election is not any of the other candidates, but rigging. Rig or die, they say. Well, we don't support violence here, but so they know what that term means. Thank you so much for tuning in.